welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Roxanne, the Tiny Taster, and today's recipe is fantastic Moong Chilla or sprouts pancake. It's really easy to make. It is low carb. Actually, it is no carb because I haven't added any rice to it. It's just made with sprout or sprouted moong and a few other ingredients which I'll list down below. For the full recipe, please don't forget to click the link in the description box. It has all the ingredients and the measurements. I hope you enjoy this. This is delicious, works as a great breakfast, nice kickstart to the day, or even a light lunch with some chutney or anything else that you might like. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And without any further ado, let's get cooking.
Soak 2 cups of moong bean or mung bean in water overnight till they start to sprout slightly, and then you'll drain this water and add all the beans into your mixer grinder jar along with some chopped ginger, a whole chili, you could add 2 chilies, some salt and a little bit of water to grind it into a liquidy batter. Just add a little water at a time. If you need more, you can always add it to the mix later. Empty it into a bowl, and now this is really the consistency you're looking for. I still feel like it's a little bit thick. I want it to be thinner, almost like a crepe or like a dosa when I cook it. So to this, I'll just add some more water, and I usually just add it in the mixer grinder jar so that I clean out the jar. And at any point, if you feel like the batter gets too thick, you just keep adding a little bit of water at a time to thin it out. Now I like to use a non-stick pan. I just feel like it's easier. So you get your pan nice and hot, and I mean really hot. And then to cool the pan down, I sprinkle a little bit of water, and you can see it bubbling over here. This sort of gives it a nice temperature where it's not too hot, but it's not too cold either. And then just take a spoonful or a ladle full of your batter mix and spread it across your pan like you would for a crepe or even a dosa. Now it doesn't spread exactly like a dosa. It's a little bit thicker, so I'm being careful not to tear it in bits. If you find any holes in between, just fill it up with a little more batter. But this is about the size that I like. If you want to make it bigger, you definitely can. I just feel like this is a manageable size. And then I have not greased my pan earlier at all. I just like to let it cook straight. But what I do is on top, I take a little bit of ghee and I drizzle it on top. You can do it with oil as well. I just feel like ghee adds a nicer taste, and I try to get the edges a little bit so that it crisps nicely. And then you will just let this cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. Be very patient with this. Don't be in a hurry to flip it over. Just let it cook till it firms up completely, or this will start to break when you flip it. Some people like to cover this as well. You can cover it so that it cooks a little bit faster, but I just leave it open and cook it like this. And then once you start to see the edges crispening slightly, or at least that it's got a little bit of a firm base, very gently with your spatula, you'll try to lift the edges out. You have to be really careful, like you would if you were making a dosa or even a regular crepe pancake. Just so that you don't break it, and ever so gently you just wedge your spatula in and then flip it over to cook onto the other side, and you can see that the base has crisped nicely. And you will cook this again on this side for another 5 to 7 minutes. Alternatively, you could keep switching and flipping it to cook it on both sides. Just make sure it's cooked completely and the batter isn't raw at any point. Once it's cooked on both sides and it's cooked well, you can plate it up and serve it with some chutney. It's best eaten nice and hot, and just continue making the rest of your pancakes. I would say here that your greatest tip is to make sure that the pan is nice and hot. If you think it's gotten too hot at some point, switch it off, let it cool down a little bit. It needs to be at an optimal temperature, and it cannot be too cold either. And you can make your dosas as large or as small as you like, whatever you manage to smear all over the pan. Just be careful again. If it is too thin and too watery, it might tend to get crispier. If it's a little bit thick, you'll have a thicker pancake or chilla like texture. So really it's a little bit of trial and error. I just like this recipe so much because it has 0 carbs. So when I'm trying to cut back or I'm trying to just be lighter, I feel like this is a great breakfast option. It also works great for meals. You can pair this up with vegetables. You could even add some vegetables on top, maybe some grated carrot or some beans or even additional sprouts. It's super high protein. and it's quite delicious. Please put as much or as little ghee as you like. I tend to go overboard, but that's just me. I really like ghee and I like to crispen the sides as well. You can serve this hot with a nice chutney, a green mint chutney, or even a tomato chutney or a coconut chutney works well. And this is pretty much it. You just keep going till your dosas or your chillas are completely ready and serve hot, and I hope you enjoy this. You can also optionally add some more vegetables into this batter. You can add some coriander, you could put more flavorings, you could put chili powder, you could put cumin. The choice really is yours, but this is what I do. This is like my riff on a pesarattu dosa or on a moong dosa. Some people do add some rice to give it a little bit of binding, but I feel like if you're patient enough and you let this cook easily, it will cook up just right. You can also reheat this really nicely on a pan or even in the microwave. Just give it a quick zap to warm it up nicely. And this is really it. This is my recipe. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you do, as always, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel, and check the recipe link in the description box down below for the detailed recipe. Not that this is really rocket science, but if you need it, it's there. So I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you guys very, very soon.